Woo! All right. Now this right here is one of my favorite movies of all time. So, if you can tell me the movie and the song, and even better, who's singing it, that would be great if you want extra credit. All right, so it's electrifying. Woo! I'm back. All right, you ready? You better shape up. All right, we'll get back to that in a minute. All right, y'all people, shape up. So, hey, if you are actually watching this video, first of all, let me say thank you very much for watching my video. We're going to go through some of these real fast here over the next 10 minutes, and hopefully this will help you out. So you're going to get an advantage over them other jokers that never watch my video, because you're going to have some of the right answers. And ain't that great? So better shape up. Here we go. All right. So let's go down here. Matter of fact, let's go down to number 6. Let's take a look at that one. Okay. So I've got a negative 1/4, negative 16, minus 36. So when I look at that expression right there, okay, I'm going to take that, and I see I've got a subtract sign right there. I am going to make that a plus negative, okay? So I'm doing a negative times a negative, and I'm also doing a negative times a negative, okay? So if I'm doing a negative times a negative, this is going to end up being a positive. And if I do a negative times a negative there, that's also going to end up being a positive. So what is 1/4 of 16? Well, basically that it would be, of course, I'll work this one out long ways the first time. So from there, we'll take it from there. So it'd be negative 1/4 times negative 16 over 1x plus negative 1/4 times negative 36 over 1. Okay, so here I've got the negative times a negative. They're going to give you a positive. And basically it ends up being 16 divided by 4, which is going to give you 4x. And over here I've got a negative times a negative, which gives you a positive. And then 36 divided by 4 is going to give you 9. Okay, so the simplified result for that expression would be 4x minus a 9. Please make sure you put a space there and then put a space there. Okay, don't jam it all together like peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Space it out like this. 4x, little space, plus sign, little space, 9. All right, like that. Okay, let's go to let's go down to number 9. Why don't I help you out with that one? All right, so again, we got a negative fraction. We're going to distribute it out here. Okay, so I'm going to do negative 1/7 times 56 and negative 1/7 times 77. So again, I'll write this one out long ways, and then we'll speed it up here in just a second. So that would be 56 over 1, and then negative 1/7 times 77 over 1, and that's got a p on the end of it. So I got an n and a p. All right, a negative times a positive is a negative. 56 basically divided by 7 is 8, so that would be negative 8n. Negative times a positive is a negative. 77 divided by 7 is 11, and then you put the p there. You cannot, of course, put them together. You cannot combine them because that term has a different variable than that term, so these are not like terms. So that is your simplified answer, negative 11n plus, negative 8n plus negative 11p. Oh, man, I'm losing it. Can't even read the stuff right on paper. All right, let's come over here and try a couple of these. Let's see. Oh, let's do number 12. That looks like a good one. Okay. So here I am doing double distributive property. I got one fraction I got to distribute here. I got one that is just a whole number I'm distributing here. So let's just run through. So the first thing I would want to think about and look at is, hey, are there any subtract signs in there? I do see a subtract sign here, so I'm going to do additive inverse to that, make that plus negative. I also see one here. I'm going to make that plus negative. I also see one here. I'm going to make that plus negative. All right, so we got plus negatives across the board there. Negative 1/6 times 30x. So a negative times a positive is a negative. X, okay?
So I got two variables on the end of that, n, x. Alright. Now, negative times a negative, okay? Negative 1/6 times negative, that's going to be a positive number, because a negative times a negative is a positive. 48 divided by 6 is 8. Then you got the n, you got to put on the end of that. So when you distribute there in that first little section,
you get negative 5nx plus 8n. All right, let's come distribute over here on this one. Plus negative 7 times n is negative 7n. Negative 7 times negative 8, a negative times a negative is a positive. 7 times 8, 56. I can combine these two together because they are like terms. So my answer here would be negative 5nx plus 1n, or of course you could just write it as n without the 1 in front of it if you didn't want to, plus 56. Negative 5nx plus 1n plus 56. Because again, since those are different signs, you just subtract them. 8 minus 7 is 1. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah, we can do a couple more yet. So again, this is bonus for you if you're actually watching the video. Thank you very much. Thank you. Again, I'll give you a riddle here. Let's go to number
15. What do you think? Number 15 look good? Let's try that one. Number 15. So 1/8 times 56. Oh, there's a subtract sign. I better do a little plus negative to that, do a little additive inverse to that. Okay. So 1/8 of 56 n. So basically that's 56 divided by 8, which would be 7n. And then a positive times a negative, negative 64 times 1/8. That would be a negative because a positive times a negative is a negative. 64 divided by 8 is 8. Okay, so when you distribute there, I get 7n. Distribute there, that's negative 8. Plus 11 times n is 11n. 11 times 7 is 77. Let's combine the like terms. We got 7n, we got 11n. They're both positive, so 7 plus 11 is 18n. And then I got my constants here. I got negative 8 plus 77. They, of course, right there are different signs. So since they are different signs, you subtract them and take the sign of the bigger number. So basically 77 minus 8, and that would be 77 minus 8 would be 69. So that would be 18n plus 69. All right, let's do one more. Flip over to the back here, see what we got. One of these got double fractions back here. Okay, double fractions. Let's finish up with, let's see. My mama told me to pick the very best one, and you are it. Okay, number 20 is it. And we'll finish up there with number 20. Okay, so 1/4. I'm distributing there, and I am distributing there. All right, I'll work this one out long ways here. So 1/4 times negative 36 over 1 y. So negative 36 divided by 4 would be negative 9y. And I'm going to make that a plus negative. Alright, so 1/4 times negative 24 over 1, because it's a whole number. Negative 24 divided by 4 would be negative 6. Positive times a negative is a negative. Positive times a negative is a negative. So we got negative 9y plus negative 6 out of that one. Alright, now let's come over to this side. And negative 1/5 times 20y. So that would be negative 1/5 times 20 over 1. And a negative times a positive is a negative. 20 divided by 5 is 4y. And then negative 1/5 of 10. Negative 1/5 times 10 over 1. Again, a negative times a positive is a negative. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So a negative times a positive is a negative, 4y. A negative times a positive gives you negative 2. Combine them together. We got negative 9y plus negative 4y. They, of course, are the same sign. So we add them together. That would be negative 13y. And then, of course, our constants are negative 6 and negative 2. They also have the same sign. Since they're both negative, we just add them and we get negative 8. Of course, you could also write that as negative 13y minus 8 if you wanted to write it that way. I'll just write it over here, negative 13y minus 8. Okay, I promised you a riddle. Let me go over here and see if I can find one. So you finish writing that down. I'll see what we got here.
Okay. How about, oh, let's see if we go back here. How many sides does a coconut have? Alright. How many sides does a coconut have? Coconut, let me spell that. Coconut. Alright, so there's today's riddle. How many sides does a coconut have? And you can also send me this movie, song, people singing it, any of the above, all of the above. One of my favorite movies from when I was your age. Also was in this play when I was in high school. I loved it. It was great. So, you people keep working hard. Hope this is helping you out. And if you got questions, email me. If you got answers to this stuff, email me. Until later, sayonara. Ciao for now. Bye-bye. Hasta la vista, baby.